Rod Wave has been selling out stadiums globally, building a die-hard fan base who can't get enough of his music. His rich, soulful vocals over emotional trap beats really give that melancholic feeling like no other rapper in the game right now. In today's video, we're going to break down the genius behind Rod Wave's production and show you how you can use aspects to make beautiful, melancholic, emotional beats. Let's get into it. So a Rod Wave beat usually consists of instruments like keys, guitar, and also a pitched up vocal or some kind of sample that's chopped up. The real instruments really just give that character and emotional, soulful feeling. So to capture that same vibe, we've got to start with some beautiful chords. So these chords off first view look kind of complex, but essentially all it is 3 7th chords with some extra notes dotted in between for tension. So to construct these chords, all I did was start with this bass line here and essentially just built some 7th chords using the 2-3 space formula. And if you don't know what that is, essentially to create any minor or major chord, you either use a space of 2-3-2 or 3-2-3. So to create that minor 7th chord, all we're going to do is start with my root note. We're going to count 2 spaces and then place one above, so there's 2 spaces in between, and then we're going to count another 3, 1 2 3 there, so with 3 spaces, and that is a G minor triad. And then to make the 7th chord, we just add another 2 spaces, 1 2 there. So as you can see, we've got 2 spaces in between, and then to make the 9th chord, you add another 3rd space. So here we've got 2 spaces, 3 spaces, 2 spaces, 3 spaces, and that is a G minor 9 chord. And then from that point, we're just adding a few tension notes in, like this one, just in the scale to add a little bit more flavor. And that's the first chord. And it's the same formula for the second chord. So we went down to the root note, then we counted 2 spaces, 3 spaces, 2 spaces, and then 3 spaces. And then we have a D minor 9 chord. And again, there, just adding some extra notes in. So the last chord here is an A sharp major 9. So essentially all we did here was, instead of leaving a space of 2-3-2-3, we flipped it around and it's 3-2-3-2. And that might not make sense, but I'm going to make it make sense now. You start on the root note, you count 3 spaces, 1 2 3, there's 3 spaces in between, and then 2, and then 3, and then 2, and there we go. And there we have the A sharp major 9 chord. And once again, just added a few notes in there, and as you can see, it's pretty much the same. That's the chord progression. And a few techniques to make your piano sound a little bit more humanized would be to hold Option and just drag out the notes ever so slightly, just to make it sound like it's being played in real life. And then finally, you can also select all of this, press Option R, and then you can just play with the panning and the velocity randomizer, just again to make things sound a little bit more human. Right, so after that, just to make the chords slightly thicker, I added a synth pad behind that. And that was a simple digibrass pad from Analog Labs. Just added that in there for some thickness. Now, just like in songs from Rod Wave's Last Lap, there are these leading guitar riffs or accent that just really give this emotional feeling or vibe.
My brother partner took the stand, took his own strengths. I've been trying.
So to get that same feeling, I grabbed a couple of guitar loops from Splice. And I essentially just placed that one at the start of the progression and the second one right at the end of the progression. And I chopped this one up so it's a little bit more interesting. And then to both of these, I added the same delay on them just so they feel a little bit more connected. And then, just like in a load of Rod Wave songs, I had to get that female vocal in there. I didn't want the vocal to dominate too much and leave some room for Rod Wave to do his thing over the beat. So I took this vocal and I essentially chopped that up into a couple different sections here. So we had this one. And again, I just varied that throughout the beat, which I'll get a bit more into in the arrangement. Also, another thing that Rod Wave beats always have is some kind of pitch bend guitar. So I found this pitch bend from Splice. And I essentially just chopped it up slightly for the verse section. And there's another simple melodic element to add to the verse section to keep things interesting. After that, I grabbed this keyscape preset and laid down a simple counter melody using my keyboard. And to that, I just added an RC20 Lush and Crunch Guitar 2 preset, and that just gives a little bit more guitar-like texture. And then just to add some low end to the sample, I grabbed a sub bass from Prod Viom. I believe this is the Lotus pack. And then just put down a simple progression following those root notes from the main chord progression, and just add a couple walk notes in there for a little bit more flavor and just to keep things interesting. So Rod Wave Beats always has these punchy trap style drums. I think the emotional feel of that melody contrasting with those heavy trap drums just really works with Rod's subject matter. That feeling of like pain and often contrasting conflicting emotions. I just think they blend really well. So we just started off with a simple 2-step hi-hat progression and added some rolls in there for a bit more flavor and a little bit more punch, and a simple clap. And then just like in Rod Wave songs, I add some additional snares and percussion just to add more bounce. And of course, a key part of Rod's beats are those heavy 808s, usually either a spins or a zay that really just punch through the mix. And I just added some variation to the second part just by adding some rolls and stops. This just keeps it interesting, just adds way more bounce to the second part. And so just to add a little bit of variation as we're going throughout the beat, I grabbed a second 808 just to signify the start of the verse. So after we had all the elements in place, I arranged the beat by adding an intro here, a simple chorus, a verse section, a bridge here, a chorus, and then straight into the outro here. And one thing I noticed in a lot of Rod Waves beats is he'll have an intro and then an intro part with the drums hitting, and then it'll get into the chorus. And as we go out throughout the beat, we've got different elements coming in the verse. It's like that different guitar sound, and of course the 808, and also the variation of the vocal changing, and the sub bass just hitting on the intro and the bridge, just to add a little bit of low end to where it's just the melody playing. And just so the artist knows when the chorus hits, I added a simple transitional riser here just to hit as we go into the chorus. And I also added it just before the second chorus as well. And after a little bit of mix and mastering, that's essentially a Rod Wave beat. So if you got something like this video, make sure to go check out my video on So Camo on why his beats are built for virality. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn notifications on to never miss a video from me. I'll see you all in the next one.